everybody, it's Kelly with Earth Angel Talk. I wanted to talk to you about anger again. I know I keep bringing this subject up, but today I went to have a massage and it's about an hour away where I go. And driving home, people were crazy. It was bumper to bumper traffic. It was moving at about 65 miles an hour. But there was a guy riding my bumper, and I was about a car length away from the car in front of me, and they kept slamming on their brakes, so I would put on mine just so I wouldn't hit them or get too close. The guy behind me finally passed me. He pulled in front of me and slammed on his brakes and sat there for a few seconds in the fast lane. I nearly hit him. And then he took off and rode the bumper of the car in front of me and did the same to them. And then eventually he got a free spot and he took off and went like 100 miles an hour. I'm like, wow, this man is so uptight. He's gonna have a heart attack. And he didn't really hurt me, but he could have. He could have made me hit him, and then the cars behind me would all pile up, and that's how innocent people get killed, because of one person's anger and rage. And that wasn't the only thing that happened then. So I'm still driving on I-94 East, and it's still bumper to bumper, and there's a big truck next to me, one of those dual stone haulers. So they have two wagons, and there's a bunch of traffic trying to enter the highway, and he just puts on his blinker and he goes to get over. Well, I'm right beside him, and he probably couldn't see me because he has two trailers. I look to my side and there's bumper to bumper cars behind me, bumper to bumper. I had no choice but to slam on my brakes and stop. The car behind me went sideways. She nearly hit me. And I flashed at him to go ahead and keep coming, and he then went back into his lane and nearly caused the cars coming in to hit him. And he kept his blinker on, so I passed him. The girl passed me, caught in front of me, and slammed her brakes on, and then kept going. I'm like, what is with people? They could do serious harm to others. And the universal law of God is harm none, harm no one. And we should look at our anger and its source. Not only are there a lot of issues that we come into this world with that we need to work on, and some of us come in with very dark anger issues. For instance, you could have had a traumatic birth and you feel like you can't breathe and you're always being choked or suffocated. The cord may be around your neck, and you come in angry and deprived of oxygen. Your brain probably isn't functioning at its optimal. Then there's all of the things that happen to us when we're growing up. Maybe you were abused as a child. Maybe life dealt you a raw hand and you're growing up without anything. Or maybe you ended up homeless. Or maybe not. Maybe you were born into this really wealthy family that spoils you so bad that you don't have respect for anything or anyone. Or maybe you grew up in a perfect family and you have respect, but we all come into this world to work on something, so there's always something we can work on. We're like onions. You can peel away the layers. And there's many ways to do that. I think I've spoken before about EMDR, bilateral stimulation, regression therapy, hypnosis regression, and a form of energy healing I do called cellular memory recall and restructure and release. Now, I think that, there are a lot of things we don't even realize. And sometimes it pops up for my clients and they're like, wow, I didn't even know I was holding on to that. Or for instance, you just don't know. Maybe you had an abortion when you were a young teenager and you've held on to that guilt and you thought, oh, well, you're past that. But it pops back up because you've been holding it in, and now it's creating female issues. Or you had that traumatic birth and now you have asthma. Then there's the second part of anger. You also are going to have anger from any type of trauma. The second part is our world we live in now, we eat meat that is full of hormones, milk and cheese that are full of hormones, which we don't need in our bodies. They also are pumped full of steroids to make them bigger, and antibiotics so that they don't get sick. Okay, well, antibiotics are there in case you need them if you have a severe infection your body can't fight off. So we're getting all that anger, and now you go to the way meat is killed. I personally am a vegetarian trying to become vegan. It's very hard to give up cheeses, but I get raw cheese. I try to get things that are humanely sourced. But you know, part of life is learning to live with the things we can't change. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm like a pinball inside my head. I'm going back to the anger. So now we have these animals that are factory raised by the hundreds. They're put in feedlots or in tiny little cages, and then when they kill them, for instance, chickens, they hang them by their feet on a rotary belt, and first they go through a saw blade that cuts their throat, and sometimes it doesn't hit them because they're moving around. So they're just injured and screaming. Then they're dropped into boiling water so they can loosen up the feathers. And a lot of times they're still alive when they hit that water. So imagine the trauma. All that adrenaline's been released into this meat, and the fear and terror and their trauma. So now you eat this chicken and you take on its fear, its adrenaline, its trauma, its hormones, its antibiotics, its steroids into your body, and you're going to have to deal with that karma, that anger, that fear, as well as your own, and you're just compounding it. Praying over your food does help immensely. Or you have cattle or pigs, okay? They line them up, they send them through a chute. The chute shoots a metal pole through their brain. Half the time they don't die, they're screaming. The other cows smell the blood, they see them. The pigs, they start screaming, they're terrified, and you have the same situation as the chickens, and then you're eating it. So I'll get off my, what do they call those people who want to save all the animals? PETA. I'll get off my PETA rant, because I have issues with PETA too, and how they go about things. But it all comes down to the universal law of harm none, harm no one, and do the best we can do. And none of us are perfect. Not me, not you, not anyone. But on the thing of anger, so you take that man in the car, the first one, or the woman that cut me off and slammed on their brakes. Not only could they have killed innocent people or children or themselves, they're so angry and uptight that they're going to have a coronary or a stroke, or, you know, it's so stressful on the heart. So they need to find ways to relax. And if you're one of those people who road rage, please, I urge you, meditate, pray, breathe, go take yoga, get a massage, do something to alleviate that anger. And when it flares up, recognize it, take a deep breath, put on relaxing music, and think about what you're doing so that you don't harm anyone else. I mean, I was pretty chill. I didn't really get upset other than to think about it, because I just had an amazing, amazing massage by Nathan Carell at Healing River Therapy in Ann Arbor. I'll do a little plug for him, 1925 Pauline. I don't have his phone number, but I'm sure you could Google him. He does a really good job, and he can do massage and sound therapy. He's also trained to manipulate muscles to help you go back into alignment. So all I can say is chill, chill, breathe, take a deep breath, go get a massage, take a bike ride, put on spa music, whatever you need to do to just remain calm. Remain calm and love yourself and others. Do no harm to anyone. And then you're abiding by the universal law of God and letting go of that anger. And please seek help. If you need help, you need therapy, find that one thing that can help you, because we all need something different. So that's it today on Earth Angel Talk. I would like to wish you all a wonderful day and stay blessed.